So I'm going to start with the first question that Marvin had asked last month, and we were not able to get to that question. And he was saying how to choose what selection tool to use. And you see here there are 5 selection tools. The Smart Selection brush was added a few, the last two, they were added a few versions ago. The selection, freehand selection, and magic wand have been around for just about ever. So when you use which one? So you are going to be using the magic wand if you want to select an area based on certain criteria. So once I activate my magic wand, I have here the match mode. So do I want to select all the pixels based on the color, based on the brightness, based on opacity, etc. So if I use here the RGB value, and I'll have a tolerance. So maybe if I have 0 tolerance, only the pixels that are going to be exactly the same color will be selected. So that's like 1 pixel here. If I increase the tolerance, it's going to be larger area. And also I can select the contiguous or not. So do I want only the pixels that are touching each other versus all the pixels on my photo? So if I go and I deselect this, and let's go with just lower tolerance, I can select this blue here, and you can see there's also some other similar blues in the building. They're not touching, and it skips also over the cloud. So that's when you will tend to use the magic wand. The selection tool itself here is mostly when you want to select an area in particular, and uh, sometimes in a shape. So you can have a rectangle you might want to select like this, or if you want to select a circle area that you want to frame or something like that. The freehand will be when you want to select an irregular area, and there are different ways to go around. The edge seeker is good if you have an edge. Let's zoom in my image. So I can click, and if I go a little off center, it's supposed to go and search for the edge. It's really, really far from perfect. It could be useful if you are trying to get a selection around something very, very irregular. So let's try this cloud. So it does not stay as a straight line. It will kind of curve and try to find the edges. You can see. So it kind of helps, but like many of the selection tools, they are just starting points and they're not the perfect tool and to make the perfect selection all the time. You have the selection. Oops, sorry, did not want to duplicate this. Just wanted to deselect. So the Smart Selection appeared in version 16, and it's similar to the magic wand, but only for an area with lots of colors and shading. But it needs to have a very defined area. So for example, if I'm uh, selecting around here, you might not see it as well. No, maybe I'll try to find a different image to show that Um, okay, so let's say I want to select the face. So with my smart selection, I can select the face. And you can see how it seems to be catching or finding all the matching pixels, at least most of them. So that's kind of a good way to get started. But again, it's not perfect. See, it's missing one ear. And maybe I did not want the neck. I just wanted to stop at the chin. But it really will help get a start, because if you were to use the magic wand, you would have to select a lot of different colors. But because the smart selection brush will brush through, and also I can use my shift key and add. So I have here the skin tone. If I brush over the mouth, I'll get the pink ones. Now let's see what happens if I get toward the greens of the eyes, and you see both eyes were selected, and even a little bit in the back here. Probably because I rubbed or dragged the cursor on the white. It's really a good starting tool, but again, you'll have to tweak it after. Finally, there's the auto selection. And the auto selection is, well, it's not that great. It works if you have a single isolated area or something very, very well defined. So let's deselect here and see what happens if I am to select around the face. It's going to look for edges, and you see, not so bad because it had high contrast, but of course it included areas that were not part of the actual subject. So it's, if you have the perfect photo to use it, it's going to be great, but don't expect it to be perfect. I think I have another example I can use. Like if I am to use this flower and use the auto selection, let's see what will happen. Not bad. Let's try the same thing for the white flower. Again, not bad. But you can see how there is a very well-defined edge. And if that flower was inside of a whole bouquet, you probably would not get as good result. So I hope it helps, Marvin. Hope it answers the question. Hey there. I hope you found this information helpful. If you're curious to dive deeper and explore more about PaintShop Pro, we've got a wealth of resources waiting for you in our membership area. There, you'll find in-depth classes, workshops, Q&A sessions, and much more to help you enhance your PaintShop Pro and digital scrapbooking skills. Feel free to check it out. The link is in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the campus!